This week on the Squatchers Lounge podcast, David and the Reverend Jeff go down to Argentina and Chile looking for the Uku or Ukumar, which is pretty much Bigfoot. If you haven't guessed, that's kind of what we're doing. So sit back, relax, enjoy the pseudoscience and wild speculations. And we'll pause and maybe we'll have a camping trip or two, but who knows? We're back after 2 weeks, and I know who's getting antsy. The Reverend Jeff Kelly.
Woo! That's right. Like a hummingbird to the water fountains over the days of our lives. Some crap like that. I am indeed the Reverend Jeff Kelly, and this is the Squatchers Lounge podcast. We are back at it once more, and over there is the greatest partner in Bigfoot a man could have, the scruffy bearded Dr. David Batdorf, Esquire, pseudoscientist. How you doing there, pal?
Pseudoscientist, Esquire.
Dude, we're only a few short weeks away from your new honorarium degree. We'll have to decide what you're going to be next year.
What am I next? Yeah.
What are we adding to your titles for next season? We'll have to figure that out post season. See how that's going to go on. There's really big things in the works for the Squatchers Lounge podcast for season 5, and yes, you people are going to enjoy it more than any other season of the show. Also, we're going to be doing a best of series, so get out your pens and papers and keep track of which ones are your favorite episodes and let me know, and we'll see if we can't dig a quick and dirty down to the topic best of podcast and bring it right out for you. So
best of the best,
man. Best of the best of the best. That's right. 4 seasons ago, and we're still the same people we were 4 years ago. We don't put up a subscription wall. We give it to you for free. Yeah, you get to watch a pesky ad here or there. Listen to me talk about stuff like, hey, go on over to facebook.com/angels dust seasoning and get you some great seasoning for everything. It makes everything better. Angels Dust makes everything better, including watermelon. I had it on the chicken tonight. We grilled out. Oh, did we grill out on the chicken? We had the devil's nectar. Oh, that's the hot and spicy one. My butthole will be upset about it, but damn it, I don't care. It was damn well worth it.
Only the right thing to do.
Only the right thing to do. That is correct. Well, isn't this lovely tonight again? It doesn't want to let me share the friggin'
why should this podcast be different than any other podcast?
Right, you're not allowed to do anything that you want to do here, Reverend, so don't do it. So, hey, we're just going to talk about it again tonight. Screw it. Thanks a lot, YouTube. My NewYorkDailyNews.com, Canadian man guilty of rectally smuggling $140,000 of gold nuggets, says the justice duty declares.
Rectally smuggling.
A former Canadian Mint employee was found guilty of smuggling 8 pounds of gold in his asshole. Lester Lawrence was first accused of sneaking out $140,000 worth of mint gold in September after a bank teller noticed a suspicious amount of checks from Ottawa gold buyers in his account. Well, there you go, people. Your habits will screw you every single time.
I would rather that the reason that they found this guy out was that, hey, Jerry is really tense all the time. It's weird. Just really tense. Yeah. He needs to relax. I can't because I'm filled with 8 pounds of gold pressing against my rectum.
I don't think it was 8 pounds once. I think it was a constant thing. He was smuggling gold up his rectum. But, dude, don't shake hands with that guy. Just remember, every hand you've ever touched has had a penis in it at one time or another. All right, moving right along. Let's see here. Science Daily. That's right. God bless. Google, you just trashed tonight. Neanderthal genetic material is found in small amounts of genomes of modern humans because after interbreeding, natural selection removed large numbers of weakly deleterious. Wow, that's a strange dyslexic trying to read word. Yeah, and I got it right, too, because I reread it. Hey, Neanderthal gene variants, according to a study by Ivan Jurnik and colleagues at the University of California, Davis. That's right here down the road. They published November 8th, 2016 in PLOS Genetics. So this is what they mean when they have a peer-reviewed article about something, and it's peer-reviewed and then published by a real journal. I suppose PLOS Genetics is a real journal, unlike Deviant Journal of Dr. Ketchum.
The De Novo.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it the DIY journal.
How to not really be published and give a flying crap about it,
That one.
That one for sure. So check that one out, ScienceDaily.com. Yeah, we're going to burn through these because I'm not able to share it. It just sucks, the big fat one. Hey, News Channel 21, KTVZ.com. Ben Hunter, impaled by elk's antler in the Maury Mountains, was dragging it back to camp, turns over his ATV and impales his ass on the friggin' elk that he had already killed. That's just one of the moments that you're like, oh, you're so happy, dude. You're just like hauling ass up the hill. Yeah, bumping off the odd friggin' rock, and all of a sudden you got a friggin' antler up your rectum. And, you could possibly be bleeding out on the hillside from having a great friggin' hunt. I mean,
something has gone terribly wrong.
It's just horrible. So if you didn't catch that one, it's on KTVZ.com. This one's one of my favorite. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't even know if they have like a safety regulation for like, what to do with your antlers on an ATV. I mean, just slow down, I guess.
Yeah, I guess maybe, distribute the weight better. I'm not sure. If you're going to be going uphill, you want to put that thing across the front of your friggin' ATV. OutdoorHub.com. Pregnant Russian woman gives birth in the forest while officers fight off bears. That's one badass Russian woman right there. Childbirth can be an extremely stressful event for a new mother, but for one young woman in Russia, it got much more dangerous than usual. UPI reported that a 26-year-old woman gave birth in a remote Siberian forest under some very unusual circumstances, which just so happened to involve bears. Alexandra Mastrasova was outside the town of Miri in Yakutia Republic over the weekend when she went into labor and was forced to give birth to her child in the woods. According to local officials, police officers had to be called out to defend her and her family from a group of bears that had been following them. Rescue workers say that Mastrasova, who was 40 weeks pregnant, made a reckless decision in accompanying her family on a routine fishing trip. Oh, that's just wonderful. So the bear knows she's about to give birth and wants that juicy placenta, and possibly the baby too, because they know that's what bears do.
That's kind of what bears do in general. They don't usually predate on like fully grown anything. They take young ones, and that's terrifying.
40 weeks pregnant, and you're going fishing with the family. Yes, of course, I go fishing. I know my fishing trip. You don't go fishing without me. No. You go fishing without me, then what I do? Yeah. I have baby without you? No. You take me fishing, I have baby in woods. It's okay. It's okay. No worry. Baby in woods, it's okay.
Just like the last three.
Jimmy is okay. It took 6 years, but Jimmy is okay. So... OutdoorHub.com. That's right. And this one just really pissed me the hell off, man. News.com.au. I guess that's Australia. Might not be, but the animal abuse. Wild orangutans systematically shot with air rifles. So they can't kill the orangutans. So they get out of these places into the freaking rainforest where the orangutans' last stand is. I mean, literally their last friggin' stand area, and they cut down the rainforest and put up these palm oil trees and palm nut trees to get the oil out the nuts, because jackass companies like peanut butter use that stuff because it's cheap. And anyhow, so instead of killing the orangutans, which they're not allowed to do, no, they just been shooting them with high-powered friggin' pellet guns that are just, it's not killing the orangutan. It's just sticking them full of all these friggin' lead pellets.
It's like slowly
and it's causing horrible, unrepairable damage Their assholes are collapsing, and then they have to go be picked out of the friggin' gutter before somebody, puts them in for bushmeat because people down there eat their cousins.
So
it's true. I'm not making fun of anybody. It's just what they do. Hashtag don't eat your cousin.
Don't eat the apes. Anyway, the idea of just like trying to shoo it on with air rifles versus doing it with a real broom gun. Right. Or like what are you gonna do? Like
shooting it with a 30-06. I'm happy you're not shooting it with birdshot because birdshot would be even worse than this, but it still wouldn't kill it. It would just leave it bloody and helpless.
But if you're pumping pellets in there, eventually you're gonna reach you're gonna reach critical amounts of lead. And
this jackass
there's going to poison it.
The jackass with the pellet gun's like, God damn it, Louie, I've shot you like 18 fucking times today, man. Pum, pum, pum. Pow, shoots him again. It's like, you got to think, bro, what's happening to all them pellets. If you're hitting, they're not bouncing off of him. He just doesn't give a damn that it hurts. That's the difference. It hurts. He just doesn't care anymore.
The idea is, of course, that it's a very large animal and, it can survive. Well, so could you, but it doesn't mean you're going to start shooting the kids in your neighborhood to move them on with an air rifle. How would you like it if I came into your neighborhood and shot your little bastard? These damn kids, get off my lawn. Pow, 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 pow. No, you don't do that. You don't do that.
I'm just shooting your little monkey with a friggin' pellet gun, little bastard, trying to get him to move along. Go play in front of somebody else's house with your big wheel, you little bastard. Get off the lawn!
I mean, the real answer is just burn the forest down and kill everything like we just have forever anyway. So why not just keep on keeping on, folks?
I saw that new commercial. It's just killing me. Let's start a new tradition. It's a Christmas commercial, and this family has a Christmas tree on the top of their car, and you see other Christmas trees going by them as the Christmas trees are going home. And these retarded individuals, these intellectually deficient, disordered people, take this tree into the middle of the forest in the middle of the winter and plant it as though that's a good friggin' thing to do in the middle of winter because that tree's going to live. No, let's not start a new tradition of planting trees in the middle of the winter. Okay, let's just not do that. There's a day for that. It's called Arbor Day. Okay, look it up. It's in the middle of the summer when things should be planted. It's a really
when things will grow. Okay. You realize that all the garden shops at your neighborhood Lowe's have been broken down at that point,
gonna
right?
Have a pitch. Little Johnny's gonna have a pitch and a friggin' the ground's so damn hard you can't even get into it deep enough to friggin' plant the tree. But hey, it's a good thought. Let's plant trees in the wintertime. No, let's not do that. Let's look up Arbor Day instead. Anyhow, moving right along here. This one was an unfortunate find. The Seattle Times. New Mexico University official under fire for Bigfoot hunt. That's right. It was published on November 2nd, 2016. Gallup, New Mexico. The head of the University of New Mexico's Gallup campus is under fire for spending money on Bigfoot-related pursuits. Seems they're not so keen as Idaho. UNM Gallup.
I was normally under fire for spending money on Bigfoot-related things too.
Yeah, me too. You're doing what, boy?
Yeah. You spent how much on what?
You do a show dedicated to what? Not one, but three. UNM Gallup's executive director, Dr. Christopher Dyer, organized a 2-day on-campus Bigfoot campers conference in February, followed by a Bigfoot expedition costing taxpayers more than $7,000. KRQE-TV reported it was the largest and most well-attended event in the history of this campus, Dyer said. UNM paid for, that's a bragging rights. I spent more money than anybody else did on this campus on stupid shit. UNM paid for advertising, meals for guest speakers, airfare, and per diem. Self-proposed Bigfoot expert Dr. Jeff Meldrum was paid a $1,000 honorarium plus expensive. The other guest speaker, Rob Kreider, I'm pretty sure Rob Kreider thinks they're angels. but we can get back to that.
Yeah, we can get back to that later.
$500 honorarium plus expensive. Dyer's an avid Bigfoot hunter in his free time and says he only pursues the mythical creature when he isn't on the job, but he's willing to pay campus money on it. He has a collection of Bigfoot hairs. That's interesting. And photos of suspicious footprints. Oh, well,
suspicious footprints.
Hey, we're going to speculate about a lot of suspicious footprints here tonight.
Neighbor kids, get off my lawn.
Get off the lawn, you little bastard. After the conference, Dyer and some of his companions went to the desert. Searching for Bigfoot. Did I read that right? After the conference, Dyer and some of his companions went to the desert searching for Bigfoot.
The desert.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So no students or faculty went on the expedition, but
because they were reasonably suspicious of looking for Bigfoot in the desert.
I don't think Bigfoot came into any. I don't think Bigfoot came on any of the receipts. I don't think UNM knew what they were paying for, but they paid for this expedition. And Dyer said him and his companions did not spot Bigfoot, but they did see habitat. Well, I can look out my door and see habitat, urban habitat, but it's habitat.
There's a whole microbiome in my backyard. Yes, it sounds very interesting.
Okay, so that's one spin on it, and then the same day, of course, as soon as this kicked out, the Meldrum, he comes out with his own reply. Well, this Halloween story was picked up by AP and making the rounds. It appeared that a local journalist with less than a reputable reputation was set upon Dr. Dyer, executive director of the UNM Gallup campus, by a local politician. Ooh, so now we're playing politics. Well, you spent $7,000 of campus money on bringing in Bigfoot experts to a campus that doesn't have anything to do with Bigfoot. If this was on Idaho State University's bill, we might all say, well, you got the Bigfoot dude in your campus, so you might get that.
It makes sense.
Right. But, this guy, hey, to each their own, whatever. If you're going to put it on the taxpayer dollar, at least take some students with them to teach them something.
Or go looking
at
for
least
Bigfoot.
teach them how to.
Or go looking for Bigfoot into the forest.
Right. In the forest where Bigfoot lives, not in the desert. Anyhow, I'm just saying, we're critical of things because, well, damn it makes us all look bad.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, TheVerge.com put up a great article, and they want to know what scares scientists when they're out in the field. That's right.
Ghosts.
Go, holy gee, and ghost. Researchers, they come up and they say that they dodge bears. They fend off venomous insects. They endure huge amounts of dangerous weather is like number 2. But the number one thing that they watch out for while they're out in the field is crazy-ass dangerous people. Humans. That's the number one fear of researchers in the field. That's right. I mean, I can completely understand that. Got lost in a cornfield, and a blade of corn hit my eye. Pain, can't see, itchy corn rash, panicked and barreling through the corn. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but it's funny. Ants built a home in our expensive equipment. Beaver slapping water. My own shadow. Cougar-shaped tree. Oh, these are haikus. Nice. Sorry. That's all that's about. I'm totally lost. Anyhow, we'll get back to the stories that we were talking about. What would you be afraid of? I tell people all the time, when you're looking for Bigfoot, you better be in bear country. If you don't have enough food resources to support a bear, then you're probably not going to have enough food resources to support a Sam Squanch, because they kind of eat the same things. Well, at least we're assuming they eat the same things. Sam Squanches could eat Smurfs. So, first we got to prove that Bigfoot are alive or exist, and then we got to prove that Smurfs exist and the Smurfs are what Bigfoot eat. But that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, we'll have to do a whole show on that.
Do a whole show on why
the Smurf contingency.
That's right. Smurfs and Bigfoot, they have to go together. Speaking of going together, sciencemag.org. Chimps and bonobos had flings and swapped genes in the past. Bow, chicka, bow, bow. Tens of thousands of years ago, modern humans slept around with Neanderthals and swapped some genes. Now it turns out that our closest living relatives, chimpanzees, also dallied. That's what the hell is dallied? Dallied with another species. Hey, whatever, British people. New research reveals that chimps mixed it up with bonobos at least twice during the 2 million years since these great apes started evolving their own identities. So they came apart 2 million years ago, and then at least at 2 other times they've come back together, split out apart, and come back together once again and split apart.
Yes, that's basically what they're saying, but doing it in like pocketed, like isolated areas, and probably not just once,
the ones
right?
That we found. That's only the one, right? That's the only ones that we found. There's probably some other subspecies or cousin species that were alive at the same time, just like we're finding that, humans kind of got it on with whatever the hell they could find. Hey, baby, you got a big eyebrow.
Yeah, and so, but the same thing is like when they start when the chimpanzees started to diverge 2 million years ago, which is a long time. I mean, they probably weren't even like. They had split from us. They had split, gone on their own path. And it's not just that there are chimpanzees and bonobos. It's just that that's what's left. And you probably have a lot of recombining from all of that. And I'm always skeptical of studies like this that say, oh, well, a couple of more points they came back through. Or was that possibly one of the other cousins? How do you qualify that? Because like we read in, like we read in the other one, or we're going to, that we only, retain so much Neanderthal DNA because that's the usable part that we've kept going and was beneficial to us. The rest of it we just sort of sloughed off. Could be the same thing in this situation. So, I like to take a bird's eye view of how things actually work. And it's just cool to think that there were so many species and now we just have the 2 or 3, if we want to say the Billy ape is something completely different.
5, technically. There's chimps, there's bonobos, there's Billy apes, there's humans, and there's Sam Squanches. But that's yet to be determined.
Sam Squanch.
Okay, Lauren Colin this week has just been been pulling at the short and curlies. I mean, just like every time I turn around, I'm getting ripped by the crotch hair. Hey, we're going to show you this orang pendek. Hey, look, we got something with an orang pendek.
Any second now, orang pendek coming up.
Well, finally on November 2nd, he revealed artist Kim Packhurst's envision of what the orang pendek may or may not look like. It's cute. It looks like Chaka without hair on his face from Land of the Lost. Mm-hmm. It's got a really human-like appearance with some scraggly-ass hair all over its body. Like I said, it's a golden effort. I'd like to see it up close. It would be worth going to the International Cryptozoology Museum in whatever the hell state he's in. I'm not ready. I think he's back east somewhere. I think Maine passed legal marijuana last night too. Yay, Maine! Go California! Prop 64 sucks. Anyhow, so it's a great thing, harped on a horrible thing that's going to be unenforceable. Yay, us. Anyhow, so there were a couple of pictures of Lauren Coleman just teasing us with it all week, and then there's a picture of it with a mask on and without the mask. It's a very creepy looking thing. The eyeballs are very, very human, almost humanish, and the whites in the eyes is always one of those things that we wonder, because it doesn't come from any of the other great primates. Why would it come from those lines? But maybe they're closer to us, and that's why. Who knows? All right, we're getting to the last of this. I know, people, it's been 2 weeks. Ohio Night Stalkers, that's right. Library lecture tour. Saturday, November 12th, they head to Eaton, Ohio from 1 to 3 p.m. in Preble County District Library, 450 East Barron Street, Eaton, Ohio. Free admission and free prizes. T-shirts and CDs will be available for sale. That's right. Check out Sighting Bigfoot with Mike Miller and Mike Felter of the Ohio Night Stalkers. Well, congratulations, guys, on your tour. Keep up the good work. Yay, us. A little bit of sad news. Bigfooter Rip Lytle dies at the age of 61. The Bigfoot field lost a longtime researcher, Rip Lytle, 61, on October 5th, 2016. He had been involved in the hunt for the ivory-billed woodpecker and Sasquatch for over 25 years. Lytle at one time taught a course on Bigfoot studies. An overview of his 2 Bigfoot encounters can be found on cryptomundo.com. That's right. So, sad news. We always kind of like to pass on the news when a Bigfooter passes. You know, may you be happy and happy Sasquatch hunting ground above. Amen. That's the Reverend says. And finally, the Something in the Woods Bigfoot suit has been sold. $2,500 and $30 shipping and handling. That's right, from wherever the hell they're shipping from. Henderson, Texas. It was out there for sale for like a week, and it ended on Halloween night. One bid. That's all it took. Somebody took it for the asking price of $2,500.
$100.
I thought it was a great suit. I wish the guy would write another Bigfoot movie and could actually reuse the same suit, because it was really, if you haven't seen Something in the Woods, you should. It's actually a decent movie to watch. And that puts us at the end of the news, finally, and friggin' amen. Pass the ammunition.
Here we go.
When we go 2 weeks long like that, it just, it gets so just... It gets tedious sometimes.
Tedious.
All the funny shit we're talking about, but it's worth it. All right, now we're time for a little bit of quasi review with your host, Mr. Dean Cooper. Oh crap! And now.
And
now this.
And now, quasi theories from a quasi scientist, with your host, Dean Cooper.
A brief review of the latest issue of Fate magazine, number 726. I have before me issue number 726 of Fate magazine. For those of you who have never seen or heard of Fate magazine, it is, as the subtitle on the front cover clearly states, True Reports of the Strange and Unknown. I first learned of Fate, True Reports of the Strange and Unknown, when I was quite young. My mother regularly bought each monthly issue. It was founded in 1948 by Raymond A. Palmer, editor of Amazing Stories, and Curtis Fuller, a professional editor. I could go into further details, but I'd just be quoting Wikipedia again. It was actually a pretty decent read until 1988, when it got into the hands of Llewellyn Publications. It went full-bore New Age. I've got nothing against New Agers as such, but they frequently lose all grasp of anything properly sciencey and accept wild claims at face value. It now belongs to Galder Press, Incorporated, which is also as New Agey as they come. The cover has a painting of what appears to be a near-albino Bigfoot, presumably inspired by the lead article, the which article is entitled Sasquatch, by one Kiwani Lepseritis, subtitled Up Close Personal Communication with the Wise Ones. Anyone familiar with Mr. Lepseritis will know that the article has no proof of anything other than his say-so. When you get to the actual article, the subtitle has changed. It now reads, Sasquatch, a terrestrial extraterrestrial? I will quote from the second paragraph. That will be a sufficient review in itself. After 57 years of research in cryptoanthropology, I have discovered the forest giants are really an evolved nature people who migrated to Earth with the help of friendly star people millions of years ago, long before hairless humans were seated here. Their words, that was in September 1979 when both an ET and Sasquatch spoke to me telepathically. It was a shock of my life, end quote. The cover is followed by several pages of advertisements, one for a warehouse bulk sale of old print issues of Fate. How could they possibly not have sold every copy of every issue? And another for a book, Rulers of the Earth, Secrets of the Sons of God. Now, who wouldn't want to know that? Next comes the table of contents page. There are 13 articles, 4 regular columns, and 4 departments who report in. The whole magazine is 124 pages long. There are ads scattered throughout. The ads are amazing in themselves. The last 6 pages are classified ads, about half of which are for over-the-phone psychic readings. The one for Robert, one of the best-known psychics in the country, is particularly enticing. That's all it says, along with contact information, website, and such. Robert, one of the best-known psychics in the country. I'm giving up on anything like a real review at this point. Here's just a few of the articles. Vanga, famous blind prophet and clairvoyant of Bulgaria. The Rise of the Planet of the Bigfoot. What are you doing to aggravate Bigfoot? By Brad Steiger, of all people. Time-slowing tabbies. Is this the answer to immortality? Fate Missing Persons Bureau. Can you help find this missing woman? It asks for any psychic help available. The column by the editor, from your editor, highlights an experience she had when years earlier. She had laid out several Atlantean crystal wands she had just made on her dining room table, waiting for the leather wrapping to dry. I quote her. Later, clairvoyantly, I saw a large brown-haired Bigfoot walking around the table inspecting them. He had his hands clasped behind his back and was intently looking at them. Unquote. Since that is precisely how Kiwani Lepsidis gets all his knowledge of the wise ones, we have come full circle in this review. I must now go and order an Atlantean crystal wand, some smoke sticks, and evil psychic influence removing, especially ritually blessed and scented, Wiccan guaranteed cruelty-free vegan soap to purge this review for my soul. This has been Dean Cooper, quasi-scientist, enlightening you with my quasi-theory of the week. You may read the text of this on my blog at bhaidin.com. That's BHAIDIN.com.
Hey, you got any of that there soap?
Yeah, I might need a little bit of that soap to kind of clean myself off after that one. That was woo! Thank you, Mr. Dean Cooper. Boy, what are we doing to? I don't know. Not enough. We need to try and aggravate him a little more. All right, let's give some shout outs to the people that are hanging out live with us tonight as they're watching the show. Hello there, Miss Starshine. How you doing there, girl? Glad you could join us. Mr. Now batting third, playing second field, Mr. Kurt Harris. Rock City Marco's hanging out with us early in the night, at least. Let's see here who else is flying around out there. Mr. Dean Cooper. That's right, our quasi-theorist. That's right, our quasi-reviewist, as we had him tonight anyhow. Let's see here who else is in the house. I know there's a bunch of people down below. Mr. Rod Dupree is always in the place to be. Oh, man. Cameron Young, how you doing, buddy? Glad you're hanging out with us tonight as well. Let's see here. Alex Salcedo. Yeah, did you hear about the poor accident with Alex Salcedo? Yeah, he caught himself with Kurt Harris. You heard of a Prince Albert, right? Well, I had myself an Alex Salcedo. James the Grower's checking in tonight. How you doing there, pal? Chris Cullinan. Yeah, Cullinan. Yeah, there no vowels necessary. Those dudes are all right there. Oh, and now this one's got to be. How you doing there, Mr. Dick Jones? That can't be your real name. Like who would name it Dick Jones? If that's your real name, and God bless you. Probably had a hard life as a kid.
Could have been.
Collier Wilmus. How you doing there? Boss of the Forest. Yeah, they was doing some filming on part 2 already. So the 3-part trilogy is going to be Amazing-castic. I haven't quite figured out what word that word is. Amazing-castic. Yeah, that's in there. Man, my nose has just got. Hey, how you doing there, buddy? Get a little bit of gin on me. We had dinner earlier, and I dipped it in some gin. It's been all over my beard ever since. How do you get your beard to look that good? Well, I dipped in gin. Mr. Thang, 3333333333333. Are you saying that's code? Because the dash is in there somewhere. Dash dot. Threes don't work. The same. It's got to be something different than the three long, short, long, short, long, long, short, long, short, long, 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 short, long, short, long, short, long, long, short.
Short curly.
Galveston 340. That's right, 340, not 350, not 320, but Galveston 340. Hey, look at that. Dave Jackson found a place tonight. Nobody had to tell him the time it started. I guess we just keep him informed at facebook.com/groups/lounge. That's where we find most of us hanging out and making fun of each other. The show ads go up there first. Let's see here. Who else is hanging? You guys are talking like, wow. James S. Don't eat apes. That's right. Hashtag don't eat your cousins. It's what it is. I mean, I'm sorry. They're
monkeys. Cool. That's fine. Go with the monkeys.
Look over your cousin Jane. If you wouldn't put cousin Jane on the Spitfire and carve pieces out of cousin Jane, you shouldn't look over at cousin and Boo Boo and want to eat pieces out of him either. Hashtag don't eat your cousin. Let's see here. Dude, I love talking about don't eat your cousin. Jeffrey, get the hell away. Never mind. Those are things. Dan Hody. I'm sure it's Hode, but I still want to call it a Hody Do.
Hody-do.
Yeah, Hody Do. You know, that's when you're running for the elevator going Hody Do. Hody Do. Hody Do. Damn it. They didn't Hody Do.
They didn't do it.
I wait for that day. Especially in a building with 20 floors, man, that's just like wrong. They laugh with a smile on their faces. The door closes. Sorry, that's another member.
Another podcast completely as well.
That's right. James S. says Smurfs. Delicious. That's right. Bigfoot Smurfs. That's how they stare the eye in the winter. Don't got a blue moon. These Smurfs are born.
It's all berries, shoots, and tubers in the spring and summer, but wintertime it's Smurf time.
I told you. Wild speculation about Bigfoot. That's right here on the Squatchers Lounge podcast. It looks like really. If you haven't said hi to me in the lounge at this point, a whole lot I can do for you, Mr. Barry. Bishop. How you doing there, pal? You got checked in right at the very end. I think that's Anna Paz. She got her butt in here already. Cowboy bacon. That's right. 420 is legal now in Cali. Suck it, feds. That's right. You can go out and smoke a doobie in your house if you want to. Although you can't buy it legally anywhere, but I'll give you some of mine. Come on by. That's right. Can't sell it to you, but damn it, I'll give it to you. Kush, Tiger, how you doing there, pal? Glad you could come on by as well. Hey, okay, it's time to talk about the woo-shoo, because I think that's the sound that it makes. Woo-shoo. That's that strange-looking creature that we were talking that was on the thing tonight. That's right. The Usu, or sometimes called the Usamar, or Usamar Zupai. Zupai.
That thing.
Yeah, it's the Sasquatch from Chile. I thought it was from Argentina. Don't cry.
A little bit of both. We'll get to the reasoning for that.
We'll talk about that. Yeah, exactly. Because Argentina and Chile share a border, right? Jackass. It's a hairy mammalian ape-like beast, similar to the Sasquatch of North America, Yeti from the Himalayas, and Yowie of Australia. This mysterious creature terrorized many areas in Argentina and Chile. All right, Dr. David Batdorf, let's see if it'll let you share. It does. Yeah, you.
Hooray!
Take us
the
to
world.
the rainforest and show us.
The Southern America.
The Rocky Coast. Yeah.
Where right. Unlike up here, where they document their Sasquatch sightings, and they don't down here because they're jerks. It's a conspiracy, actually, against the Americans.
That's right.
But we have Chile, Argentina. Look at that. A gigantic mountain range on a coastal range with a rain shadow. Look at that.
Hey, all those things we keep talking about.
Who would have thought?
With Sam Squanches around the world. I mean, yeah, so it's not, if we believe that there's Bigfoot here in America in these areas, why wouldn't there Bigfoot be in South America in these areas?
Yeah, so I mean, you have this really interesting effect of the Andes that I just have to talk about for a second. I mean, we have the largest river system in the world, right? This is a rainforest. You don't get rainforest without them damn dark clouds. In the United States, we have, well, here, let me take this off here so you can actually see what I'm talking about here. We have the ocean, and then the barrier, and the green is on this side, then it dries out, and then, the other side of the world, the Appalachians here, you have the ocean, the rain shadow, and then it dries out going this way. Down here, we have something completely different, where along the ocean coast of the Andes is the rain shadowed side, because it's so new, because it's so, historically volatile, and the actual rain shadow is from this ocean, and it extends all the way over to the ridge of the Andes, except right down here.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Well, I was talking more about Chile, like in Santiago, and more southerly from there, is where you have this reverse effect.
I sing a song about Chile, but they don't have any that I know of. I want my baby back, baby back.
Yeah, there we go. But on this side is where you have the rain shadow on the west coast, drying out and then meeting back up with, this kind of a big deal over here. But anyway, but what they're talking about is that the bordering area between Chile and Argentina, and the only reference that I could find to an actual location was 50 miles outside of Santiago, which is a pretty big place. Santiago. So, some 50 miles out of here, you start to get into some pretty remote-ish stuff.
Heavily Catholic area, from what I understand. They believe in saints and, dripping blood from the Queen Mary or Mother Mary's eyeballs.
Something like that.
So Tales of Sam Squanch would be biological creature more so than they would be, Nephilim or, descendants of Cain, I would think.
You would think. Also, they make weird sounds when they're eating apples or whatever it is. Usu. The potential for this to be misidentification, one would think, is like, well, unless you're thinking, oh, what is it, an alpaca or a yaba? No. In Argentina and Chile, and I'm not sure what the actual distribution is here, but I know on this side where it connects to Amazon, they have what's called the Speckled Bear, which is actually a cousin of the black bear.
He's smaller. He's
much smaller, and he's got glasses.
He's got an asthma problem.
Is the only bear that'll say, "Oh no, my glasses."
Where's my inhaler?
It's an respiratory condition. But so we do have
weak lungs. Don't pick on me.
We have snow caps along the ridgeline, and everything that you kind of see. And this does, if you look at the actual width, it's a little bit more on the narrow side, but the actual width versus, you can't even look at it at the same time. The actual West Coast, where we think is the hot spot, the hot bed.
The hotbed of Sasquatch, the Pacific Northwest.
The Pacific Northwest. West. It's a pretty narrow strip of green, right? Like, and so it's good. We're looking at a totally different biome, but down here, it's you're looking at like half of the Cascades, but
so
north to south is
Sam Squanch.
North to south is probably the same.
Do you think these are swimming Sam Squanches? Do you think they live all the way down to the coast?
Oh, possibly. Who's gonna not speculate wildly about such things? If they do it in the sound up here, why wouldn't they do it in the sound down here?
I don't know anybody else doing shows about UCU Bigfoot, so I guess we can wildly say whatever the hell we want. But...
Exactly. Challenge me.
Tell me I'm wrong and then prove it.
Yeah, then prove it. That's what I love about this show. I can pretty much say anything, and it's like, yeah, well, prove I'm wrong. You can't prove a negative, jerk.
Well, once you kill a Bigfoot here, though, and that's one of my things, I've always said, once we kill a Bigfoot, a real Bigfoot, put a Bigfoot on the table, it's a real live thing. The world
but then you have to come down here and kill one.
Well, that's the thing, is it's going to attract black market Bigfoot hunters like from everywhere to everywhere. They're like, hell, them things were real there. We're going to be like a guide to the black market hunter guys where they should all go look for these different things. I'm going to feel horrible about that. Well, yeah, you just drive down this dirt road here and go left in Chile until you get to Argentina, and you can find yourself a new shoe with eyeglasses and
you'll be swimming in the fjords. Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Oh my God.
Someday.
I love our show. I love our fans. I really do. If you guys can get along. I've been criticized for the silliness that we've gotten into at the end of this season, and I got to be honest with you, we've gotten a bit silly with the with a serious topic of what we took out, and we do take it very seriously. But we have to give ourselves a little bit of comic relief, otherwise we wouldn't be able to continue to talk about this.
Every week for 4 years.
Yeah, it gets very difficult. But season 5, I promise, is going to be a whole lot. Is going to be a whole lot more entertaining than it'll be more entertaining than any season we've done so far. So just bear with us while we get through the end of this Sam Squanch around the world. I know it's been a hard 18-month tour, and I know we've been just beating it into your foreheads this season. But damn it, we were proving a point. Bigfoot type creatures should exist, not could. Should exist. If Bigfoot's in North America, Bigfoot should exist all around the world in its form in one form or another.
If then. Right. That's sciencey.
Exactly. If Sam Squanch is real, and some of us have actually seen one, so we know that they are, if there's one, there's at least hundreds, if not thousands. If there's one here, then there should be some other places.
It depends on which website you go to, because really, like, if you go to, Kiwoni's websites and
there's 150,000 of them in Dimension B.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really matter how many of them there are here. It could be like one or none. But in the other dimensions, in the intergalactic community, we've got plenty of space and time to hold our Sasquatches.
That's right. Plenty of time to interdimensionally mind rape my Sam Squanches. We looked at the Mapinguari from here from South America, but this is not an inner friggin' jungle ground sloth with a mouth in the middle of its belly. I mean, the description is a 5 to 7 foot tall, thick-haired, small-eyed, human arms and legs. Some people report it as a half-bear humanoid, but as we've talked about the dog man, never in the history of the planet that we found so far has there ever been a bipedal bear. So why would there be? It would definitely have to be some kind of an ape-type creature.
Well, what about Petals, the bear with no arms?
Hey, that's because he got shot this year, sons of bitches. They put him in a hole. He was he's a trophy, by the way.
First Harambe, now Petals?
Yeah, Petals was completely mounted from head to toe. He was skinned. All of his bones were boiled. You don't want to hear about the horrific things that happened to Petals to make him a perfect taxidermy. But yeah, according to the local people, the Usamar loves to eat the plant called payo, a plant with an inside similar to cabbage. Oh, he's got to be great to be walking behind.
Skunk cabbage.
This creature also emits a sound, woohoo, woohoo, woo-hoo, which Ivan T. Sanderson's compared to the noises reported by Albert Osman, who claimed to have been held captive by a family of Sam Squanch in 1924. Let's see here. Documented sightings. One of the first documented sightings of the Usu took place in May of 1958. That's right. A lot of things happened in 58. I think Barney and Betty, but Betty and her husband's name was, it got up 58 too. When a group of campers in Rango, 50 miles from Santiago, Chile, Santiago, the place of Chile. That's where everybody wants to party. I want my baby back. Reported that they saw that they could only describe as an ape man. Police were called out to investigate. They took
not a bear ape man?
It wasn't a bear man. It was an ape man, damn it. Which was Carlos Manuel Soto, who swore that he had seen an enormous man covered with hair in the Colorado, it's a dyslexic nightmare, one of Santiago's 6 provinces. Excuse me, people of Chile. In 1956, geologists Audio L Pitch found 17-inch long human-like footprints. So these have got to be big bastards on the Argentina side of the Andes Mountains at a height of over 16,000 feet. So again, like the Yeti, maybe it's got these gigantic friggin' lungs, and that's why we don't see them, because humans don't have lungs that can go that high. The following year, similar
because
tracks
the
were
bigness of
discovered
the lungs is important.
in the province of La Salta, Argentina. I want to be a flamingo dancer from Argentina. I don't know if that's where they come from, but boy, wouldn't that be complete? Coral shirt, da-da-da, sort of like in The Mask.
I just had a really a mental image I can never burn out of my mind, no matter what I do.
Not long after, residents of Palo Grande informed the newspaper reporters of a nightly chorus of what they described as eerie calls emanating from the nearby Curicó Mountains. The cries, which were attributed to the locals to the creature known as the Usamarzalupi, frightened the community for some time. And according to anthropologist Pablo Latopi Ortega, I feel like that lady on the news trying to pronounce every Latin name she can. Traditions of these giant ape men continue to this very day, still in Argentina. And of course, one of the theories described of the Uslamar is the speckled bear, Tramentatos ornatos. But this animal can't emit sound above. So what's going ooh in the jungle? Ooh,
hey, let's go check that out. No, man, no,
man, I'm good. I'll tell you what, you can take pictures of whatever's making that sound and let me know what it was when you get back. The picture of the pig-like, ape-like friggin' thing on tonight's show ad. That's what the descriptions of the Usu supposedly look like, man. They're just, that's pretty friggin' just creepy. To date, no physical evidence of the Usu has ever been brought to light. For evidence which pertains to a similar creature, please refer to the Unknown Explorers pages on Bigfoot. That's right. I had to tell some people where this stuff comes from. Online resources are fantasticated. Am I bought into it? I much like when I investigated the Sierra Kills, the story of Justice Miha, I always said before I came out to California that I believed that he believed the story to be true. But I couldn't say that I believed the story until I put boots on the ground and had an idea of what kind of terrain and location that we were actually talking about. It adds up. Bear hunter ends up in this location looking for bear, shoots Bigfoot because, well, there's a big scary monster in the woods, and that's what has to happen. Just like this, now that we've proven as we've moved around the world from location to location, from Asia to South America to Australia, we're still not sure about the Yowie so much, but the indigenous population talk about them there. To some of the mountainous countries like Japan and the Philippines, things that have been around since long before the ice ages have come and gone. You never know what's really going to be out there and where. But if Bigfoot is real here in America, then Bigfoot should be real like Usu in South America. Wouldn't you think, David?
Absolutely. There's, it's one of those things. We'd be silly to say, well, it's a phenomenon that only happens in the United States of America and maybe Canada when we let it happen. So the most important thing to think about is where are these stories coming from? They're coming from everywhere, but they're all coming from areas that have easily decipherable, like literally 100,000 foot views. We zoom into about 100,000 feet and we look at it and be like, oh, well, that looks exactly like this, or that looks exactly like this. It's all, every single area that we've encountered has had similarities or is a cross between one area and another area. So it's very, very cool to go through that process. And that's kind of what this show is about. I mean, it's, we Jeff and I are always, ask a question. We're like, hey, could we do that for a show? Well, maybe we drug it out too long. But at the same time, it's been really cool to go through and to easily be able to decipher why we think that story makes sense just by going and looking at a map and drawing correlations, making wild speculations, and
Well, speculations about Bigfoot on the next Squatchers Lounge podcast.
On every Squatchers Lounge podcast, previous and going forward.
Exactly. We analyze what's out there, what's new, what's fresh. We try to keep, a skeptical eye on where this stuff comes from. We used to believe it all. We wanted to believe it all. We want it all. We want it all to be real.
I still want to believe it all.
Yeah, but we have to be realistic in what's the truth.
You have to be realistic. I don't.
I know. You're the pseudo scientist. I'm the Reverend Jeff. That's right. Join us next week when we're going to be talking about Pennsylvania Bigfoot. That's right. The Appalachian Trail, well, part of the Appalachian Trail, as well as the central Pennsylvania Bigfoot, and some more personal stories of the old Reverend Jeff from his lifetime.
Pennsylvania.
That's where I saw my Sasquatch, was in Pennsylvania. And we'll be talking about big old hairy balls on the next Squatchers Lounge podcast. That's right.
That's a show ad right there. Big hairy balls on the next episode of Squatchers Lounge
Big hairy balls on the next episode. Tomorrow afternoon, I will be releasing another Bigfoot campfire story, as well as one this weekend. You're getting a double whammy, bitches. Join us Monday night for Bigfoot Entertainment Weekly with your old pal Wes Losner, as well, and he's doing the whole Snapped Chatters. You can search for it. It comes up in YouTube. I don't know how to spell it. It's weird. Look for the links on Facebook and Instagram at Squatchy Inc. Is that everything, David? I think Angels Dust Seasoning. Don't forget to go see them people. I hate to leave anybody out. Go get some Sasquatch coffee. We're a couple of weeks out from our Black Friday edition. That's right. We're only 2 weeks out from our Black Friday edition. So you'll want to join us for that, for Gifts for the Squatcher. That's right. What will Reverend Jeff and Dr. David be looking for Christmas? Come join us on that night and find out too. So lots of fun shows coming up for the holidays and lots of fun things here in the lounge. Anything else tonight there, Dr. Dave?
I am good and excited for Big Hairy Balls next week.
DDBE, that's right, Dr. David Batdorf, Esquire. Well, for the Dr. David Batdorf, Esquire, and Big Hairy Balls, I am the Reverend Jeff Kelly. We say thanks for watching, and may the Squatch be with you.
It's really kind of a freaky pig nose
If
thing.
you want to be you, be you. And if you want to be me, be me. But if you're going to be me, pay my taxes. Stop burning shit down, Oakland. Just stop it. Just stop. Put the lighter down and go back in the house. It ain't going to change nothing. Y'all just whine and just get your ass back in the house and play some PlayStation. We love everybody. It's going to be okay. One way or another. 3 years, 11 months, 13 days, and some minutes, and y'all can re-elect somebody new. So, hallelujah to the American system. God bless you. Have a great night.